Salutations ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Maniacal Miniatures. In this video I'll show you how to paint miniature bases, such as I do them myself for my army, for Warhammer. These bases are quite simple to make, and it was requested by Rachel and Mr. Raptor, so stick around for that. So before we get to the meat of the video, I'd like to take a short time to say that my channel was also hit during the YouTube purge for December. I lost 186 subscribers, which was about 65% of my total subscribers, which was a big blow for my little channel. So if you want to help me reach those 500 subscribers, please share with your friends and friends and family which you think would enjoy this channel. Now, for this tutorial, I will request that you get a base. This is very essential to painting bases. Also, find a base color which you like for the bases. I'm using Doombull Brown from Citadel. Get a big brush. Doesn't have to be expensive, just one that is fairly stiff in the bristles, and then a texture paint. And this is essential for my bases, the bases I do, which use the Citadel Agrellan Earth texture. GW, or Citadel, has made an entire range of these paints. This is not the only one. You can get them in red and green, I believe, and black, and all sorts of colors. And you can always mix colors into this, so you can get a custom one. But the trick with these is that they crack when they dry. So the more you glob on your base, the more it will crack and leave these little crevasses and stuff. So it has a very nice effect. So and if you want to speed up the process, if you're doing a whole army at once, you need this essential equipment, the hair dryer. So let's see how it goes. So guys, here we are with the first step for our base painting tutorial. First we give our paint a good shake. This can be any color that you really like for the trim of the base. The trim would be the edge. I really like a nice deep brown, this reddish one, which is called Doombull Brown from Citadel. You can thin this down on your wet palette, that would be a good idea. It will make it last a bit longer. If you have any doubts on the wet palette, you should definitely check out my video on that. I will leave a link in the description below. And then it's just globbing that paint on there. Usually I actually glue my minis to the base first, and then paint around the mini. So yeah, this is actually just for the tutorial. And usually I'm pretty neat around the edges here. Just make sure to drag, I would say with the grain, but this isn't wood, but at least drag with the line, so it gets a nice even spread there. And you only need one coat from the get-go, because we will go back after we have applied the texture and give it a second coat to just neaten that little trim up. And yeah, now we have to wait for this to dry. And if we are impatient or making a tutorial, we could go ahead and use the hairdryer. This might get a little noisy, I'm sorry for that, but we will try and make it quick. So that's actually all it takes, and then we move on. We shake our texture paint, and this you will not thin down. You should not thin this down. And it's a really thick kind of paint, and you just glob it on. The more you put on, the more it will crack, and the more detailing you will get, like so. Yes. So we just take it round to the edge. I just move in circular motions. That makes it a a bit easier to control. We just move it around. And say if you had put your miniature on top first, this would be a great little trick to put a bit of this up on their boots to make it seem like they are dusty. It's a little trick I use myself, and I think it works quite well. I'll just put the excess paint back in the pot. That's a lot of excess paint. And to Hades with the last bit. Boom. And now, again, more of the speed drying. Otherwise, this will take about 20-30 minutes to dry. You can already see the semi-dried tomato look. the semi-dried here, it's already starting to crack a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can. Just give it a bit more light. Sorry about that. Here we go. And don't worry about the little bubbles at the moment. That's where the largest crease will be in a second. Oh, I almost got covered in base. So, you can see how fast that turns out to look like something nice. Of course, you could always add extra textures like sand or rocks to this to give it a bit extra detailing. I have yet to do that, but I will do that with my new dwarf army, something that will come on the channel shortly. Whoa, that's getting hot on the fingers. Whew. It dries a lot faster when you are using hot air. Look at that. Can you see that? It looks very nice to me. It reminds me of, is it called Little Rescuers? The cartoon, where they go to Australia. It looks like the dirt from... So that will work well for the purpose of this video. It will dry a bit more, especially around the middle where I globbed it on real thick. But next step is to neaten up those edges, the trim. And some people like to keep their edges black. I think that's a little harsh against the surface of a gaming table, so I use a natural color. Oh, we still have some brown here. And yeah, I just neaten that edge up. And of course, when you're doing this yourself, oh, I should have taken a smaller brush. I got some on the top. Of course, when you're doing this yourself for an army and you aren't making a video tutorial with microphones in your face and lamps all over you, this will go a lot faster. Actually, this tutorial isn't really representative of how fast it will go in real life. Also, you should be neater around the edge here. I was a bit rough because I used too big a brush. You should definitely change when you're kneading up the trim. Then we have tufts which makes all the difference. I use these tufts, Midland tufts from Citadel, which are from Games Workshop, and I use these, I think they're called Badland tufts or Desert tufts from Green Stuff World. I will leave links for this as well as the texture paint in the description. And you just nip one of these off, and now I can hide up the blemishes I made after kneading up the trim. And I made some different errors here, so we could just neaten that up. Also, you could definitely use is it called a pincer? I think it's called a pincer for this, or small tongs. And there you have it. That's how I make a base. So, if you make an entire army, if you want to base your entire army in an evening, it can definitely be done like this. And you can use the same color scheme I chose. If you don't want to take any chances, you know how this will look. It will look like this when you're done with your entire army, and it looks great on most tables. It works for grass tables, it works for dirt tables and industrial. It's quite universal, I think. That's why I used it. But you could also use the iron earth or the different texture paints from Citadel. So, here it is. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. So ladies and gentlemen, that was it for this week's tutorial on how to paint texture bases. I hope you liked this video. If you did like it, consider leaving it a thumbs up and subscribe. Share with your friends, it'll help me a huge deal, especially after the December purge where I lost 65% of my total subscribers, which was a big blow to my little channel. Also, if you'd like to see a different tutorial for something I've made, you can check out this video. And then there's all that's left to say is, remember, in the immortal words of Batman's butler, Alfred, why do we fall? So that we learn to pick ourselves up. See you in my next video, and Merry Christmas.